officer. Nussbaum nodded toward the bathroom adjacent to his office. You've earned the right to some privacy. Go get dressed. Jesse picked up the suit and shoes and headed toward the bathroom, not sure what he was feeling. He supposed he should have been excited. Today he would walk away from Huntsville prison, a free man. But his emotions were complex. Hollowness carved out a hole in his brain. Regret slithered along his spine. Anxiety swirled through his every breath. Resolve crouched on his shoulders. Revenge burned his gut. But in his heart, in his damnable heart, he felt hope. And that's where trouble boiled. As much as he wanted revenge to matter more, it didn't. Sure, he wanted to get even with Beau Traynor. Certainly, he ached to mete out real justice. Yes, he itched to expose the new sheriff of Twilight, Texas, for the fraud he was. But underneath it all, he wanted Flynn more. According to Jesse's Aunt Patsy, Beau had asked Flynn to marry him 4 times, but she turned him down even as she kept dating him. Jesse ground his teeth. Why? Could it be that some small part of her still harbored feelings for him? Even after 10 years? Even after he'd been to prison? Fat chance of that. Yet the hope flickered. Hope. What a stupid, dangerous thing. Jesse shook off the rough cotton prison jumpsuit, letting it drop to the cement floor, and stepped into the ill-fitting Walmart suit. Not much of an improvement, but at least he looked like a human being again. Goodbye, prisoner number 877-57310. Once dressed, he kicked off the slip-ons, sat down on a bench, and jammed his feet into the new shoes. It had been 10 years since he'd done up laces, and he wondered if he'd forgotten how to tie his own shoes. He raised his right leg up to the bench. The laces felt thick and clumsy in his fingers. Freedom was within his grasp. The flavor of it was on his tongue, and it tasted like Flynn. Sweet, with just the right amount of underlying tartness. Juicy, warm, and welcoming. There was that hope again. Jesse tried to crush it, reminded himself that she'd been sleeping with his mortal enemy, but he couldn't manage to summon up any anger toward her. He reserved that for Traynor. All he really wanted was to see Flynn again. What if she doesn't want to see you? She probably didn't. If he was smart, he would forget all about her. But if he was smart, he wouldn't have landed in here in the first place. He looped the laces, pulled them tight, his fingers regaining their memory. Flynn. The woman he'd dreamed about every night. The image of her smiling face had saved his sanity inside these prison walls. Flynn. He tugged the knot, making sure it held secure. He was breathing heavily now. Hope fluttered around in his heart like some damn butterfly. Christ, he was acting like a schoolgirl. Flynn. Had he completely fabricated the feelings they'd had for each other? Had it all been in his head, lopsided and pathetic? Doubt smashed the butterflies. Fear kicked hope in the teeth. Who was he kidding? He wasn't good enough for her. He'd known it then, and nothing had changed. Yet she hadn't married Traynor. Why not? Calloway? Nussbaum called to him. Jesse stood up and looked down at his perfectly bound shoelaces. New beginning, new start. He opened the door and stepped back into the warden's office. Guard's here to escort you to the bus. The guard waited for him in the hallway. Nussbaum clasped Jesse's hand, told him goodbye. Unshackled for the first time in 10 years, Jesse followed the guard out into the light. Where you headed? The guard asked. Home? I've got no home, Jesse said. Never have, never will. I gotta know where you're going, for the bus ticket. I'm headed for Twilight. Twilight? The guard looked confused. Twilight, he confirmed. It's a town, outside Fort Worth. What's in Twilight? A job? A woman? A wrong that needs righting. Hey, the guard said. Don't do anything to send your ass back here. That'd be stupid. Stupid it might be, but Jesse didn't care.